Hello and welcome back to Making It Out of the Woods. In this week's video I'll be turning a chunk of monkey puzzle tree. Now some people's friends and colleagues give them chocolate, mine give me wood. No complaints there though. Now the monkey puzzle tree is an evergreen. It's native to Chile and Western Argentina, but luckily for me it does quite well in Western Scotland too. It's sometimes called a living fossil because of the prevalence of similar species in prehistory, and can't you see why? It looks ancient. It has leaves that resemble armour, and the bark of its trunk has pointed scales left behind by old branches. Now this is what a naked monkey puzzle tree looks like. Cool, huh? Not sure why, but this piece of wood had been drilled through to the pith, perhaps to aid drying, and it was still punky in parts, so I decided to cut out the wet wood on the bandsaw and dry it for a little bit longer. So when I had the parts cut, I popped them in my mould and separated them with some lollipop sticks, just hot glued on to make sure that the pieces stayed apart, popped it in the mould, poured in the resin, waited for a good few days, and this is me just demoulding the casting. It's a sizable casting and I wasn't entirely sure about how I was going to fix it to the lathe. Started off by sticking a tenon on it, popping it into my dovetail chuck. It didn't work too well, and I eventually epoxied a new piece of wood on the bottom and then attached a faceplate to that. It was much better. So getting the casting to round wasn't really a pleasant experience because when you start with resin you get a lot of chip out. It makes a great sound though. Once you get the shape a little bit rounder, you can go on to using the negative rake tools, and they do make a huge difference. Now, when I'm turning anything, I wear a respirator and a face shield, but when you're turning resin, the chip out and the heat of the chips just makes you realise how essential this kind of PPE is. Now, some people frown upon wearing gloves on the lathe, but in my day job I need to sanitise my hands regularly and I can't afford to have cuts or injuries on them. I wouldn't recommend wearing gloves, but it's my personal preference. At this point, the negative rake cutters had really done their job and the chip out is really beginning to disappear. Word to any other lady turners out there, make sure you do the neck up tightly on your turning smock because this chip out went absolutely everywhere. You hear me? Everywhere. Now wood chips in your cleavage is one thing, but resin chips, now they're really scratchy. Adele writes songs about misery, but unless that girl has ever turned resin, then she knows nothing. You've been warned, ladies. And busty chaps. Even fully zipped up, this stuff is a nightmare. Anyway, I'll let you watch the project and I'll catch up with you at certain intervals. Bye for now. I'm back. Did you miss me? Well, if you're of a nervous disposition, then you need to look away now, because this is the precise moment when I found out that my tenon didn't work. Shocking. Whilst I sort that out, I'm going to have a word to you about Patreon. If you don't know already, Patreon is a platform that allows artists and creators like me to make a small monthly income from the content that we create. Patrons like you get updates from me, treats from time to time, and have the opportunity to put real input into what videos I make. To become part of my Patreon circle, please click the link in the description and follow the on-screen prompts. I'd be really excited to have you on board. Now let's get back to the monkey puzzle video. It's time now just to carry on refining the shape and then get on to the sanding process. I'll leave you in peace while that happens, and I'll catch up with you further down the line. I'm back. Didn't want to go too far with the parting tool, so ready to get it off, Foxy? Let's get the saw. If you've seen my Instagram post lately, you'll see that Works very kindly sent me a load of tools to try out, and this is the first opportunity I've had to video and use a tool. I had a go with their cordless sander and was really impressed with it. Put it this way, I have a Bosch one, exactly the same principle, don't see much difference to be honest. Now I don't do reviews as such, but I'm happy to tell you how I get on with their product. So Works PowerShare is the only cordless tool platform that uses the same 20-volt batteries across all the tools in its range, which is great because you've always got one charging on hand. What I particularly liked about this little sander, it runs quite quietly and it's got a handy little dust bag, so it was great for using indoors. Now, I experimented with this edit because some people had asked for a longer edit. I'm not sure it's gonna be my thing, but I'd like some feedback. I get feedback from my patrons, but if you could let me know what you think too, it would really help. And also, do you like the talking all the way through it? Do you like just a little bit of voiceover, music, no music, machine sounds, no machine sounds? You get the picture. Just let me know in the comments. I know what I like, but it's always good to have some feedback. That's it. I can't say that at certain points of the project this vase didn't make me want to scream. See what I did there? But overall I'm happy with it. I love the shine. I really think the finish came out well, and the tones and texture of the monkey puzzle tree are just delightful. I've got a few more pieces of this wood to turn and I can't wait to get started with some more projects. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Don't forget to feedback in the comments about what you think about the edit, and I'll see you next time. Stay foxy. Thanks for watching.